Hey everyone, welcome again to another meeting. Let's see, is Wednesday the 13th already, May 13th, which is just crazy. I'm really excited. We're going to move kind of on from our subject of the last couple of weeks, which was, becoming your own PR agent. But what we're going to talk about this week, it's still related. So it's just kind of a new topic. I do have more notes and more downloadables for you guys from the last 2 weeks of content. They're just, I'm also doing, life like you guys are. So I just haven't caught up yet. But they will come out this week before the stuff from our meeting today goes out. So they will be coming later this week. So keep your eye out for them. Again, I know I ask this every week. If anyone's not receiving the emails, there was an email that went out last night. So if you are not, please message me directly so that I can make sure you are getting them. And if for some reason, I don't understand why. I was just talking to someone yesterday about this, about email providers, and like, even though it's coming from like a Gmail account that seems personal and stuff, it's still not getting to some people. So um, if you are, I can just personally forward you the emails. It's what I was doing with Jen for a little while, but now you're getting them, right, Jen? Like you're getting them in your personal account. Did you get one last week?
I did get it last week, but
Okay.
it doesn't look like I got one this week.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I know that's
I
that's
know,
the
and
hard
it's
part with using those
there's just nothing we
providers.
can do about it, really. So, um, I'm gonna write a list here for
I
last
even
night's
had
email.
my IT people whitelist it so it
It would go
should
through.
show up, and yeah,
Okay,
weird.
last night's list, and it's only a hand. I mean, I've only gotten a couple of comments. Mainly, it was Jen's for some reason. We just figured she's got some sort of crazy firewall, but um, I have had a couple of people reach out to me in the last week, so I just want to make sure that you guys are getting it. But I will be sure to forward that on to you, Jen. Okay, so let's move on to a couple other things. First of all, Sahili has started the business book club, and the first meeting was last week, and they kind of got started, right? They picked the book, and I'll let you speak to this, Sahili, and then tell everyone that you guys are meeting tomorrow for our first reading meeting. So go ahead and tell everyone what's going on.
Yeah, so tomorrow we're meeting actually to do the first discussion of the book, and we picked Start With Why. And we're kind of taking it a little bit slow, but it's a short book, so we should be able to finish it in May. And we're just doing chapters 1 and 2 if you're interested. If you're interested but you haven't read the book or you just don't have time to get to it, just feel free to join anyway. I'll be giving kind of an overview of what those chapters are about so that you can jump in and just be part of the conversation.
And that's a fantastic book. If you guys haven't read it, it's awesome. It's an easy read. Like Sahili is saying, is that the chapters, they're bite-sized. It's nothing overwhelming or crazy, and it all just makes so much sense that you'll really enjoy it. Simon Sinek is awesome, and he's got a couple other things out too. But like she said, even if like a book that particular month doesn't really pique your interest, stay in the group, because she's not only giving notes, but then you could get on to the next one in the next month. So I did get a few emails from some of you, and personally, saying that you're interested in joining. So I'm going to forward those on to Sahili and make sure she knows that you guys, wanted that information. In fact, let me write that to do that today. Book club.
And also the link to join the group. So we're doing it through the Book Clubs app. So the link is in Facebook. If you go to Facebook, there's a post right now that has the next meeting up on it. And in the actual, I don't know what you call it, like where I have wrote information about the group, yeah, you'll see the link to join the Book Club app and the link also for the meeting on Thursday. So if you want to skip doing the Book Club app, you just want to join the meeting, that's fine too.
Great. And that's in the BCM members private Facebook group. So if you guys aren't members on there, go ahead and request to join so I can approve you. And then you can get all that information. So, okay, we've got book club and emails. And I did reach out to Christina. I don't know if Diane, are you here? Dana, sorry, Dana. I don't want to say Diana. Dana's here. I did reach out to Christina Nicholson, so we're starting a conversation. So I might drop your name, just that you're part of our group, and that because maybe someone she recognizes. So
sure.
That's cool with
totally
you.
Name drop.
Great. All right. I'm trying to get her to maybe interact.
I'll ping her
with us a little
too.
bit. Okay, fantastic.
I'll ping her also.
That'll be awesome. So because I do want to continue on with that whole being your own PR agent subject. I just think there's just so much information there, and there's just so many little things we can hit on. mean, we basically talked last week all about HARO and touched on the whole media kit thing. So there's just so much we can do and keep going with it. But I thought you guys might want a new subject this week. So we're going to talk about, and I'm just going to kind of give this the grand title of growing your network. But we're going to get real specific today on, we're going to talk about LinkedIn. So I know we've kind of mentioned it before and we've talked about it a little bit. I am right there with you guys, like most of you. Some of you may be killing it on LinkedIn, but a lot of us are not. And it's kind of like, it's always been the redheaded stepchild of the social media scene, but it is 100% the professional network. You know, it's not so much as a professional social network. And so I like to think of it as, I'm not necessarily going on there looking for like personal styling clients, right? Or I may not even be going on there for business casual and looking for people to join our group. What I'm doing on there is talking about the business side, like running the actual business, making the connections. And then the bonus is that there's a great potential of, you know, gaining clients from this sort of thing. But I'm on there when you're talking, and we're going to get into this, like what kind of content you'd be sharing and stuff. And I'm not trying to sell on LinkedIn. So you should never be trying to, not never, I don't want to say never, but you shouldn't be trying to sell on there. No one wants spam on there. It's a professional network. They're looking to learn more about their businesses and how to grow their businesses and how to make connections and how to hire people and how to find jobs. And so, you know, it's a little bit different take, you know, and this isn't where you're posting pictures of your family or your kids or any of that good stuff. This is strictly like, you know, here's the job I do, here's who I serve, here's how I do it. And then you kind of go from there. So let's get into the nitty gritty then. Let's talk about LinkedIn a little bit. So there's like, and this was probably data from last year. I mean, I did a lot of research on this, and the most recent article that had really good numbers, I think it was from like summer last year. But at the time it had like 500 million users. 250 million around, or 260 million are on there every month. So a lot of us like set it and forget it, right? We get on, we create a profile, and then we kind of forget about LinkedIn. So that's the 500 million. But more than half of those people are actually using LinkedIn on, you know, a monthly basis. 40% of those people are on there every day, like every weekday during the, you know, during the work week. And that's a lot of people. So if you think about just how many eyes are out there, how underutilized the platform is, especially for, you know, entrepreneurs and smaller business owners, how underutilized the platform is. There is so much potential there as far as growing a network, making connections, and building clients, right? And growing your bottom line business. We just don't go on there with the intention to sell. That's just kind of a byproduct. But other opportunities can arise as well. So I think of it this way, like maybe, you know, Jen Ribick isn't going on there and trying to get design clients, but she's on there talking about the latest trends and, you know, and how it is to run a design business and how she gets out there and meets clients and that sort of thing. And other people start to see her as an expert in this. And then she gets asked to speak on a panel, right? For something like she made a connection. She got asked to speak on a panel at a design conference. And from there, she gained clients or that sort of thing. So it's always kind of, it could be like a 2 or 3 step process, but it's just a way to expand your network. And so if you'll remember, we've talked about growing our networks before, or if you came to that talk I did back in the fall, or no, in the spring, winter, gosh, I don't remember when it was. Anyway, I did a networking talk at downtown at the Gardens. And it's not always that you're growing your network to just gain more clients. That'd be great, right? If everybody we met became a new client, that'd be fantastic. But you're growing your network to open the door to opportunities for that sort of thing. So those are the numbers about LinkedIn. And I just was like astonished. I'm like, wow, that is just so many eyes that are, you know, on there. So if you think about these people that are on LinkedIn every day, they're probably, most of them 9-to-5ers or corporate people, right? You know, I mean, that's part of their kind of their daily routine, right? Is to get on there, learn more about their industry or what's going on, or other people in their industry or competitors or whatever, and they're on there. So those aren't the people that are probably not, and I don't want to make too much of a generalization, but those are probably not the people that are stay-at-home moms, that are, you know, a lot of our client base, or my client base, you know, and that are scrolling through Instagram or looking for pretty pictures of things. And so you just have to think of it that way. Like, what is the audience on LinkedIn, and who are you trying to attract? Because it's a whole untapped resource for you. It's a whole untapped market, right? I just think it's a fantastic way to look at it, to make you realize that it's worth a little bit of time every week. And we're going to talk later in here how to take this bite size and put it into like a 4 to 6 week plan so that you can ramp up your LinkedIn skills without eating too much time out of your normal week. So let's talk about the most important thing on LinkedIn, and that is your profile. And in a minute, I'm going to show you my profile, and we're going to, using my notes that I have taken, rip it to shreds, basically, because I'm pretty much just doing everything wrong according to all the LinkedIn experts. So some of you, like Noelle, I don't know, maybe you can speak up. Hannah, too. I don't know, you guys maybe speak up a little bit about, and Holly, I think you guys are pretty savvy about LinkedIn, and if you want to speak up, or anyone else here who is, and throw in anything or any tidbits, I'm just, you know how I am. I'm just gathering all this information for you guys and for myself, and then downloading it to you. So if you guys have any real life tips or actions or anything that you found that's worked or not worked, please chime in, please do. So let's see, let me just double check this little chat here. Oh, okay. That was from Dana. Okay. So let's talk about the most important part of your LinkedIn, your whole LinkedIn presence is your profile, right? That is basically your handshake, your first impression, your resume, really. So your profile, I want you guys to think about it. You want to go on there and you want to look at it, and you want to do a couple of things. You want to think SEO, right? You want to be found if somebody is looking for someone to do exactly what you do. And if they are doing a search, you have to use keywords that, you know, about your job or about what service you provide or what product you provide, and use those keywords in your profile so that people can find you on there. So there's a couple of ways people can find you on LinkedIn, right? And LinkedIn is all about making connections. It's all about growing your network. And we're going to get into that a little more in a minute. But people find you either by knowing your name and searching for you, or because you are connected to someone else they know, or because they are looking for something specific. They are looking for somebody who has, who's an attorney who helps people, you know, who helps other attorneys write copy and do those things. And so they're looking for specific things. So if you think about it from an SEO standpoint, just like you would on your website, so you've probably, you know, thought about this when you're writing your website or when you're writing blog posts. You're thinking SEO, like, is somebody going to be able to find this if they're looking for it? You want to do the same thing on LinkedIn. So just think about that as you're going through this profile. You want to have a headshot, obviously. It probably should be a little more professional. You know, I would say yes. I mean, that would be the definite recommendation. You want to make it a little more professional. This isn't the picture of you and your family or you and the kids, you know, or you surfing, unless surfing is part of your company. But it's you, just, you know, a basic headshot. So it can be pretty, but, you know, nice headshot. So I'm going to pull mine up here because I'm going to show you guys that your headline, you want to change, and you want to make it original. So you want to create an original headline, and here's where it is. Normally it's going to be just your job title. And so let me pull mine up and show you guys, because I have not changed mine. I didn't go in and change anything after I read this stuff. I wanted you guys to see. Let's go to my profile. So this is my profile, if you guys can see here. And right here is the headline. So it basically just has my job description, like what I do. I'm a personal stylist, owner at the Mama Crush, and founder and lead educator at Business Casual Mastermind. But you can change this, and you can make this, again, a little more SEO friendly. And you can also make it so that it tells exactly what you do. Nobody really knows what Business Casual Mastermind is or the Mama Crush is. And even though it says personal stylist, owner, or founder and lead educator, people just really don't know what that is. I'd be better off changing this to something a little more SEO friendly or even people friendly, like, well, not like, you want to state the problem you solve, right? And who you help. So you state that who you help in the solution. So the first part, you know, I help moms who want to learn to get dressed every day in stylish clothes or something. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head. And, by providing personal styling services. And I love helping women, female entrepreneurs to grow their businesses using, tips, tricks, and strategies, and something along those lines. I mean, let me go back to you guys real quick. I can't see your faces when I'm doing this. So give me nods, thumbs up, something like you guys are following along, because I can't really see. Okay, cool, everyone good. So you can change that original headline and make it into something, original. You want to state your problem, state the problem that you solve and who you help in there. So I need to get a little creative with my copy. You can create, let's see. Okay, so then let's go into skills. So in the profile section, you see, it has my company on here. So one cool thing you can do, since you own your own company, is create a company page. This is super simple, you guys. You can see there's like a little logo next to Business Casual Mastermind, because I've actually created a company page. And this is, well, no, that's, it's on here somewhere. Hang on a second. So if I were to click on this, I created the company page. I did nothing with it. It still says build your page, but I at least started it and created it so that I have a logo, so that there's a little logo sitting next to, how do I get back there? Next to the name Business Casual Mastermind, so it looks legit, right? It looks like this is an actual company and it doesn't just have a blank space there. So you can go ahead and create a company page for yourself. It's very simple, just like on Facebook. And that way there's something to link to. So ideally now I need to go into Business Casual Mastermind, the page, the company page, and work on that, fill it in, say what we are, who we are, what we do. And I can use that for posting and article sharing and stuff, which I'll talk about in a minute. But this is just so, it looks like we are a legitimate business. And I don't know why Mama Crush doesn't pop up on there. Probably, I think it only holds your current job title. And that's probably what I have as my current job title. Skills, see, I think it's on here. Activity experience is going to be your resume. I would suggest keeping your resume, the jobs that you have on there, relevant to what you do now, like what your business is now. Don't put every time you waitress, or, did other things. I do have on here, I do have it on here below my experiences. These are all like little businesses I've started and stuff. So that all has to do with me being an entrepreneur. I do have on here like my sales experience, because it kind of goes with a little bit of what I do. And it's also where I spent the majority of my corporate career. But I'm not putting on there, when I was bartending through college and stuff like that. So keep it professional, keep it kind of geared towards what you do now and who you're trying to attract as well. So, okay, and then let's see. So after experiences, there are skill education. Obviously, you can put, where you went to school. Skills and endorsements. So I think you can use up to 50, I think it is. I think I have 35 on mine. So you can add a skill. Let's see. You want to take, I basically haven't even done this. So it'll suggest some skills that you can use, but this is again like an SEO thing, right? So it's almost like hashtagging, like the things you're really, really good at. But there's a step further. So you can add all skills. I think you can, it says you can add 19 more. Oh, so maybe it's only a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Okay, well, anyway, let's say there's, oh no, that's not me. I think it's 50. Sorry, it's 50. So you can add up to 50 skills. And then one thing you can do is have somebody endorse you for that skill. So in the past, I used to be a pharmaceutical rep. So people have endorsed me for urology and endocrinology. It has nothing to do with what I do now. I don't even know if I want those on there. But, for marketing, I've been endorsed by 5 people. So this is something I've never requested, but you can ask people to do it for you, is to come in and endorse you. And it just kind of gives social proof, and shows that people are vouching for you and showing that you are good at what, at these different skills. Interests. So these are just different interests I have, different groups. You can go in there, you can find a ton of stuff. I can't remember the number, and I don't think I wrote it down, how many of these you can have. That might be up 30 or so. 30 or 50. Anyway, you put those in there, and I'm going to tell you why this is such a good idea later. And it has to do with making connections. So this is the gist of just what's on your profile page. Activity, these are things I posted. I've posted 3 things. That's it. I haven't done any good work on this. Your dashboard, like who's viewed you, that sort of thing. You know, when you've appeared in someone's search, that's just, you know, good information to know. About section, this is what I talk about. I get a little more into detail about what my business is and what I do. So, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. I don't have to give you guys all the goods on that or all the info on that. But the reason that skills and interests and putting your college on there, if that's something you went, you know, if you went to college, are so good is because that's going to help you to make connections. And LinkedIn is all about connections in order to get more eyes on things that you are publishing or sharing. And to show, just like I said, like the social proof that you are a legitimate business person and that this is, you know, what you're an expert in. So making connections, and I will get on here, there's a couple of ways to do it. LinkedIn, and you guys just tell me to move along if you guys all know this, but LinkedIn will, you know, kind of smart, like look at your email list, look at your phone number list, and kind of tell you like, hey, these people are on LinkedIn, maybe you should connect with them, and you can request to connect with them. You know, the people that you already know, you know, personally outside of LinkedIn. It will also give you suggestions based on connections that you have, and maybe like somebody that you know also, you know, or somebody knows 2 people you know, so they're going to suggest it. So you can connect with people that way. You can also search for people. And so if I know, like I'm looking for Jen Foster, and I'm not going to pull you up, Jennifer Foster, I don't know if you want me to, but I can just go ahead and look her up. There she is. And then I can click on her and request to, you know, make a connection with her as well. I think we're already connected on there, but to make a connection. So these are ways that you can make these connections. And then these are ways that people, when you post an article, or when you share an article, or when you comment on something, your people are going to see that. And then it's a possibility that they might share it as well, or they might comment as well. And then it's more eyes and more eyes and more eyes. It's kind of the same idea as Facebook, where if somebody shares something that you post, exponentially your views grow. It's the same idea on LinkedIn. So it's really important to start with the people you know and that you want to form a connection with. I would highly recommend that if you are seeking out people, like let's say I want to find, like we talked about, finding like a certain reporter at the Palm Beach Post, that you not just request to connect with them, or, you know, or you're just sending the, whatever the auto-generated message is, but that you personalize it. It takes a couple of minutes or a minute to write out a couple of sentences and to personalize the request and give them a reason to be friends with you or to connect with you. It's not friends, really, it's to connect with you on here. You know, hey, I saw that, you know, you worked with my friend Holly on that story. You know, I thought you did a great job. I'd love to connect, you know, or please accept my connection request or something like that. I mean, it just can be simple. It's just personalizing it. Hey, I saw that you went to Florida State. I went to Florida State as well. I'd love to connect, you know, and learn more about you and your business, something along those lines. So this is why that interest area down there and skills area is also beneficial. So if I go to Working Moms Network and there's 3598 followers on there, I can kind of start seeing some names and some comments and people that are active on that in that interest group, and maybe make some connections through there as well. So give me a nod, a heads up, whatever, if you guys are following along, like why and how easy this is to make more connections, to grow your LinkedIn network. We're all good? Okay. I feel like this might be a boring subject for you guys. I don't know, but I definitely want to make sure that you guys understand the importance of it. So what are we going to do on LinkedIn? So we get the profile taken care of. Let's say we get that, you know, all kind of squared away. You feel pretty comfortable with it. You think it looks good. You got a lot of good information on there. So now what do we do? Well, there's 2 ways to be active on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is going to, much like Facebook or Instagram, they have their own algorithm, right? They have their own way of pushing out people and what you put out and how it's seen. It's not the same as the Instagram algorithm or the Facebook algorithm, but it does have to do with, how updated your profile is, how relevant it is to, to the other people that you're connected with and that you're talking to, and also how active are you on LinkedIn. And when I say how active, I mean, there are definitely people that are on there every day posting a couple of times a day and et cetera. But you just start small, right? And the more updated information you have, the better. My 3 activities I had where I posted something were from, this has been months. So that was when I did that talk in Gardens. So that's months ago. So obviously I have not been active on LinkedIn. LinkedIn isn't going to care about me so much because I'm not I'm not using their platform the way it should be used. So there's 2 things you can do though. You can post, and when you post, it's just kind of like an update. Like, you're just putting something easy, simple, similar to like a post on Instagram or Facebook, but you want it to be professionally driven and you want it to have to do with the audience that you're talking to on here. Secondly, you can share. You could share any type of article that you see on somebody else posted that you want to share with them. So if I go to the homepage, here's my feed, right? So if I go to the homepage, that was my profile that we were on, but this is the homepage where they're pushing stuff to me that they think I'm interested in. Kristen Gallucci is local. She is a LinkedIn expert and she's local here. So I follow her and I try to keep up with what she's got going on. And so she's got, her stuff always pops up here. April, I work with April. This is somebody that, puts out things every once in a while and it's kind of come up. Robbie Bishop, that's my dad. He's celebrating a year at his company. So anyway, this is just similar to Facebook. Like things are going to come up that, are relevant to things you have commented on, that you liked, the connections that you have. So how do you get onto people's feeds on here? Well, like I said, it's trying to work in with that algorithm. So you need to be active. And so if somebody posted this article and I thought this was great, I may share it, right? It has something to do with the people that, I want other people to read it. So share it. Commenting, it's basically the same idea as Facebook and Instagram, right? We're sharing, we're commenting. And so that's one thing you can do on there. Original content. So let's go up to home. So I want to start a post. This is just a regular post, like we said. Having a photo really, really helps, right? This is a very word-heavy platform. And so having a photo will definitely make people stop. We'll talk about video in a minute, but having a photo for sure might help people stop. So I would definitely add a photo if you can. So that's just a regular post. But let's say I want to write an article. So the cool thing about LinkedIn is that they have kind of like a publishing platform, right? And so if you write a blog post on your blog and you think, man, this would be really great on my LinkedIn, on my LinkedIn page or whatever, instead of only doing a post and linking back to your blog, which is a great idea, you could also actually write the article on LinkedIn. And I forget, I've heard it called several different things. Publisher, I think is what it's called now. I don't know. But anyway, you can go on here and then you can actually write out the full article. Now, Google and LinkedIn are very, very smart, and they're not going to love it if you word for word copy and paste this over here, right? They want original content. So change it up enough that it's not word for word. It can definitely be on the same subject, on the same whole idea, but I would try to change it up because otherwise you might as well just repost or add a link and like a regular post, right? This is an original article that you are creating for the LinkedIn audience. So if it is something that you have already and you want to repurpose it, it's a great idea to kind of tweak it and rewrite it a little bit so that it is original to LinkedIn. You can publish this and now you have your own article on here. This is a fantastic way to get, what's the word I'm thinking? Oh my gosh, I just lost the word, guys. Where people believe in you, right? And like you're seen as the expert. I mean, you're publishing original content. It's almost like having your own blog on LinkedIn. So I would highly recommend publishing original content on here. As far as I can tell, LinkedIn smiles heavily on that. Again, I'm just saying all this because I learned it. I haven't done it myself, but I'm going to try and start. Okay. So I think I've gone through like how you can use it and how you can be active on it. Forming connections is how we grow our network on here, right? Making the connections and then using that. Reaching out, commenting on people's things. Like nobody likes to post something and hear crickets. So if it's somebody that you really like, if Kristen Galucci is really somebody that I want to make a connection with, and I want her in my network, like of true, not just a number on my LinkedIn profile, but a true person that I want to get to know, who I think we could help benefit each other in business, then I'm going to always be commenting on her stuff. I'm going to be sharing it, that sort of thing. So just think of it that way. It's kind of like your introvert's way of making friends. You get to do it from behind the screen. You get to do it without having to run up to people and give them a big hug. I mean, this is like the social distancing introvert's dream right here, is the way to make friends and make a network without having to do all that, or without the time and effort either, right? Like you can do it all from here in your spare time when you can. So I kind of jotted down, what time is it? I know I always talk so long. We are getting really close here because I just jotted down some really cool kind of tips and tricks that, again, these aren't mine. These are other people's that I have, kind of thought they seem like LinkedIn experts to me, but I thought these tips and tricks are pretty cool. So there's one thing you can do, and maybe we can find it in here. Actually, I'm going to get off because I got to see your faces. Let me stop sharing this screen. Okay, I like seeing your faces better. It's like, I don't know if I'm really like talking to you guys or not, or if you're hearing me without being able to see your faces. So one cool thing is you can go into the settings and turn off, it's like, so click the off button on share profile edits. So I think this is really important right now while we are updating and kind of correcting our profile and stuff, so that it doesn't send out like a little notice to everybody every single time. Like, Leanne updated her job. Leanne updated her current work status or whatever it is, or her updated her profile. I don't need everybody to know. If I'm sitting there just trying to play around with it and make it perfect, I don't need everybody to know the 20 times that I changed over the next couple of days. So you can go in and you can turn off the share profile edits so that people don't get updates. You can customize your URL and add it to anything and everything you want. So on LinkedIn, if you do decide like this is a place that I'd like to use as a platform to publish articles or publish, posts and things, and you want people to visit it, and you think it would be good for making connections, you can customize the URL. I'm not going to pull it up, but it'll just auto-generate a URL, and then you can go in and change it. I think mine says, it's like linkedin.com/US/ and that's, or .us, I don't know. Anyway, that's the normal beginning of it. And then I put like Leanne Roberts, the Mama Crush. I'm going to probably change that to just Leanne Roberts, but you could make it into your business name or your name, whatever you want it to be, so that it's an easier URL to remember instead of like a long number kind of thing. So if you are submitting an article on the publisher, like you're creating your own article, if let's say you have a blog post or a really cool Instagram post or something that, went viral or took off or whatever, and then you want to rewrite that for LinkedIn, and you go on that publisher and you rewrite it, you could provide a link at the bottom to the original article, right? Like, for more info of this, or, or to read this on my website and get more information or whatever it is, you could provide a link in that post. You can put links into those articles. So you could provide a link back, and then you have another backlink, which is really good. Remember, all the World Wide Web, it all works together. The more things you have linked together, the more SEO it shines on you. So, and I would suggest always putting your website on the bottom of all those articles. Always provide the website, because maybe somebody reads it and they really take an interest in you or what you have to say. Maybe they want to go check it out. So definitely always put your website backlink on there. So what are you going to do with that business page and your personal page? So your personal page is kind of like that Leanne Roberts page is kind of like the me, right? It's Leanne, it's what she does, who she is, all that. And then I started that little business casual page. I have a Mama Crush page, but I haven't done anything to them. So using those pages though, I don't have to go crazy on them. I don't have to like think if I'm running 2 or 3 different pages on there. I can just put occasionally when there's an update to my business, or when, something really very interesting has come along. about that industry. Or maybe I use it like this. I publish and write articles having to do with the personal stylist industry on the Mama Crush, but then I share them through Leanne Roberts or whatever. Like, I just don't want you to like get overwhelmed and be like, I don't have to run. Not only do I have to get on LinkedIn now, but I now have to run 2 different pages. You can just intertwine them. And remember the business page, just make strictly business. There's nothing personal on there. It's just kind of updates and that sort of thing. But just don't get overwhelmed by that idea. Obviously, I haven't even done anything on the Business Casual or Mama Crush pages right now. You can use LinkedIn to snoop and to get info on what the competitors are doing, right? Or even just not competitors, but colleagues. What is someone else doing on there in your industry, in your line of business, in your wheelhouse, and how are they making it work, right? If Shannon knows another local gift shop owner and she's just crushing it, and Shannon's like, what is she doing that I'm not? LinkedIn is a really good place to go to start, right? To get on there and find out who that person is, what kind of professional connections they have, what are they doing, who are they meeting, that sort of thing. So it's a really good way to get on there and kind of stalk people, I guess. No, it's just spy though. And then one other thing you can do is, have you guys ever gotten a LinkedIn like email or something that says like, 8 people have looked at your profile, or 2 people have looked at your profile, and you're like, who's looking at my profile? And you go and you look, and it's like, I don't know. For me, it's like always these pharmaceutical job recruiters and stuff, or like an old friend from high school or something. So you can go into your privacy settings, click the profile viewing options, and then change that so that people won't be able to see when you go looking at their profile. So if you decide to do a deep dive into your competition or, people in your industry that you don't really want them to know you're kind of snooping around and all through their connections and everything. It's not that you're not allowed to. It's just that if you don't want people to see it, you can change your privacy settings so that they don't get an alert or they don't get, told that you were in there looking around. It's just a little, I thought, a fun tip for when you want to be in stealth mode. Joining groups. So groups, you can join up to 50 groups, and there are groups for everything on there. It's just like in Facebook, but they're not social at all, right? They're completely business groups. I say completely. I mean, you saw like I had like working moms. I don't know. There's a few others that I've joined, small business, women's, groups and things like that. So you can join groups. Again, it's going to be a place where articles are going to feed through interesting stuff, that opportunity for you, things for you to share and post. The cool thing about LinkedIn, I think, is that it's really viewed positively when you're just sharing articles. And how hard is that to do, right? Like to go on and find things that you're interested in and then just sharing them on your site. Yes, you want to create original content and post, but even just getting on there and sharing stuff is important. So I think that's a really cool thing, is that it doesn't have to be as hard as, we make it sound like doing a whole nother social media platform. Okay. There is something on LinkedIn. I couldn't find it when I was looking, but I'm sure it's out there and I just have to do a Google search or look for it on there better. It's called ProFinder. So this is like Upwork for LinkedIn. The article I read about it, maybe it was outdated. I'll have to double check, and I'm going to before I put all these in notes for you guys. But something called ProFinder. I can't imagine that they don't have something like this, because it just sounds really cool. And it's LinkedIn for freelancers. I mean, yeah, it's LinkedIn for freelancers. It's like just a page or whatever, but it's like Upwork, where if you are a freelancer, so Sahili, if you are looking for more client work in this, in your field, this is somewhere, instead of going to an Upwork or a site like that, you could possibly hook up with other attorneys on this ProFinder so that you tell them, I'm available for this type of work. If you ladies are looking for alternative streams of income and you are doing things already in your business that other people could use help with, like copywriting or, I don't know, LinkedIn or whatever it is, and other things like parts of your business that that you are gotten pretty good at. Noelle, this is her job, right? This is actually her company. So she does that for a living. Like, she's gotten really good at systems and social media and stuff, that now she does that for other people. So if that's something that you're interested in getting work with, then this ProFinder might be a good place to go and find out about. again, before I put the notes out, I will double check on that because I didn't see it right away when I was on there, but I might just not be looking in the right place. We talked about when you post to definitely add an image. Posts with images have 98% higher amount of comments than posts with no images. So just think about that, like 98%. So it's almost like if you had a post with no images, you'll get 0. And you post, I don't know. I just feel like, why wouldn't you put an image to it? You're already kind of doing this anyway. Not kind of, you're already doing this on Facebook and Instagram. You're used to it. Just go ahead and put an image with it. Video. So video is really important as well on LinkedIn. Just like the other platforms, video is kind of up there, right? On their whole, when they're doing their algorithm, right? But the difference with LinkedIn is you have to think about the audience that's looking at it. So the 1 to 3 minute videos, max. If you want to link to something longer, I would link it in a post or something, but 1 to 3 minute videos, and they should be subtitled. Most of these people are at an office or somewhere where they're working and they cannot listen. It's just like what we talk about in stories. More and more people aren't listening, so you should subtitle as much as possible. Well, it holds doubly true for LinkedIn because people are at work. So you want to subtitle always. And there are apps that you can do that for just regular video, because I know in stories it's easy. You can go in and do it yourself, but there are apps to do that. And 1 to 3 minutes max on whatever subject you're talking about. So LinkedIn Live was something that was, oh good, Dana's telling us what ProFinder can be found. Where does Dana say here? ProFinder can you found when you click on the work on the top bar. Smart thinking, Dana.
There's like there's like a box of like 9 squares. It's like a square with 9 squares. If you click on it, it says visit more LinkedIn products, and that's one of them.
Cool. And that might be a paid product as well. I don't know, guys, but if it's something you're interested in, you can look. So LinkedIn Live was something that launched last year, and people, or maybe at the beginning of this year, and people got super excited. I've never been a LinkedIn person, so I didn't really understand the excitement, but apparently people that are on LinkedIn and were like, oh, this is gonna be so awesome. And from what I have read, when it first launched, it was awesome. It was. People were getting 50,000, 100,000 views on little 1 to 3 minute videos, or not videos, but lives, and like short little lives. And they were super excited. And then it went, and it just kind of tanked. It didn't stick, like the new shiny thing wore off, and it just didn't really work for the LinkedIn audience. And again, it makes sense. If you're at work in an office, which the majority of people on LinkedIn are, or even if they're work from home, but they're busy, they don't have time every time to like jump on when something live comes on, right? Or so I can understand why it tanked, but I wouldn't worry about it. So if you're like, well, let me get on there, should I do live videos and stuff? I would just stick to the formula that's working right now, right? Like a 1 to 3 minute video, you're good. They do have some new features coming this year. I think they're like either being rolled out slowly, or maybe they're out right now. I just read an article about the new things coming out in 2020, and I thought this was really cool. There is a LinkedIn newsletter, kind of how the publisher thing is, where you can post your own, bye Chrissy, where you can post your own, Hannah says, now I'm going to use the live feature, you have to apply to be approved. Right. Okay. So again, that's like a beta thing that when it was coming out, the live thing, but I wouldn't even worry about it. Like, don't put your eggs all in that basket. If you had a plan already to go live on there, go ahead, but I wouldn't put any extra work into it. So there's something called newsletter. If it's not out now, then maybe it's something you apply for, similar to how live was, or it's in beta testing, where like Publisher is kind of the original platform to do original work on LinkedIn. Newsletter is the same. Like I said, it's kind of like having your own blog. Well, newsletter is the same thing. You can put out a weekly newsletter on LinkedIn that will then get pushed into the posts, which I thought was really cool. So think about it, like I'm sending these weekly emails out to you guys now, right? And it has, whatever notes we had, it has the links to the videos, it has, all these different things all packed into this email. But you could also put that in a newsletter and it get pushed out to your audience. So I thought that was really cool. And you could subscribe to other people's newsletters so that you know what's going on in their business this week, and without having to go through and read every article that they put out and all. But so that's something that I think would be really advantageous. So that's coming out. Voice DMs. So, you can message somebody, but I guess there's like a voice DM thing coming on there where you can actually talk. Oh, you're using it. Hannah's giving a thumbs up. I know Hannah's like a LinkedIn person. So I heard great things. I listened to a podcast and read an article, and both of them mentioned this, and they're like, oh my gosh, it is so good for connecting. And it's just, so I'm curious. I want to look into that. And Hannah, I don't know if you want to speak to it. I gave the thumbs up, but have you used it?
I have. There's a lot of benefits to it just because there can be a lot of things lost in translation when you're just using text.
Mm-hmm.
People kind of read into it, so they can actually hear your tone of voice. It's faster as well. So if I get a connection with somebody or I need to send a response, I do this in Instagram DMs as well. So it's basically the same concept, but it will just be an immediate, hey, I'm Hannah. So thankful that we were able to connect. I give them like the little elevator or whatever. And then I say something that is unique to their actual profile, like why I wanted to connect with them, something along those lines. So there's just that little bit of a touch point that adds that customer service aspect. So they're not just thinking I'm some girl from South Florida trying to connect with them. There's a uniqueness to it.
That's really cool. And so there it is. We've talked about LinkedIn. The whole reason we're talking about LinkedIn is to grow your network, right? That's the whole reason we're talking about it. I'm not necessarily saying you're not going on there to sell or anything. It's just to grow your network. I have so many people coming to me, women like you guys, but outside of business casual too, like, but I only know, this little group of friends and that's it. I don't know how to grow a business. I have a friend who just started doing a direct marketing business. And she's like, but besides my friends, I don't know who to talk to. And I'm like, girl, there are so many ways to grow your network. So for us, those of us, we have started businesses or we're about to like launch new things or whatever. This is one way to grow that network. So I know we got to get off, and I do because I got kids and I have another meeting at 1:30. But really quickly, oh my gosh, I just lost the train of thought. I'm like, oh, I gotta hurry. But what was I gonna say? Oh my gosh, guys. Oh, I hate that happened. I hate that when that like goes out of your head and then you can't remember what you're gonna say. The train left the station and it's not coming back. Darn it. Okay, well, we were talking about growing networks, right? Okay, so if you want to grow your network, it came back. Okay, good. So the whole thing is that we want to put this into bite-sized pieces. I don't want to just spit all this information at you about LinkedIn, tell you how great it is and how all the things you can do and all these awesome stuff, and then be like, okay, now go to it. So I'm not going to have time to go through it today, but I'm going to give you guys maybe a 4 or 6 week LinkedIn challenge. And it will be so bite-sized and so little. Like the first week, we're going to just talk about starting to work on your profile, right? You can get in there and just update your profile and try to fix it up a little. I need to do it for mine. Next week we'll do, comment on somebody's article, repost somebody's article, something like that. Like 1 or 2 steps each week until it becomes just part of your habits. And then you can also see maybe how it can benefit you. And we'll go from there. So I'm going to do would you guys like a 4-week plan or a 6-week plan? Anybody? 4? All right. So we'll do a 4-week LinkedIn plan. And then if this works and we like it, we'll do the same thing for the other things, for Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, that kind of thing. Holly said 6 weeks. All right, so we'll do some sort of bite-sized chunk plans for all of our different, platforms. So, and then even maybe like for PR too, for getting on Haro or for reaching out to people and that sort of thing. But if we could do these little tiny bite-sized pieces, I think that we could really accomplish a lot. So thank you guys so much. I went too long as usual. I apologize. I just always have so much great stuff to share with you. And so now I am going to go try and update my profile tonight. I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to do it tonight, but I'm also going to get all this info out to you guys. Hannah says, if you guys have questions about LinkedIn, hit her up. I know Hannah is a LinkedIn user and she always gives me like tips and stuff when we're in meetings. So definitely hit up Hannah. Jennifer was asking what video captioning app to use, and Hannah has using what, InShot. Katrina isn't here using one. I think there's one called Subly, Subbly. I'm sure if you go on the apps thing and you can see what's the highest rated, you know, and look, but if Hannah's using that, it's probably a great one. What was ProShot? I'm sure it's great. Leanne using a different one, I think. What were you talking about there, Hannah, for ProShot?
So you've been using something with your Instagram stories where you're making the video outside of the story. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
last longer than the 4 that it keeps cutting people off on. And no, it's ProCut. Is that it?
ProCut, yeah.
Okay.
I think ProCut. I don't know. I'll have to look and see. This is a great conversation to start on our Facebook group, guys. What apps are you using for, you know, making videos? And I will post that. And for like subtitles and all that stuff, apps for videos. Because I know I get asked by you guys a lot, like certain videos that I put out, like how did you do that kind of thing. So Haley was asking me about the LinkedIn membership. So I agree with Stephanie Edison. She wrote that she doesn't pay for LinkedIn unless she's actively looking for a job. Same here. I have used it in the past. I've upgraded in the past because there are a lot of benefits if you are really searching for a job. There's a lot of good benefits for it, but if not, turn it off. Don't pay for it right now. Don't do LinkedIn sales. I forget what that's called. I think LinkedIn sales. If you think you're going to get on LinkedIn and make a bunch of sales from it or anything, I would not pay for anything. LinkedIn has plenty of free benefits. And truly on LinkedIn, I don't feel like you have an advantage if you're paid or not paid as far as algorithm or making connections or anything like that. If you grew to be a giant company or you were actively looking for a job, then definitely I would say pay for, you know, upgrade or whatever, but not for now. All right, ladies, we're going to get off of here. I got another meeting here in a minute and I will talk to you guys really soon. Jen, did you have a question? Oh, I thought you were saying bye. Okay. Bye, guys. Thanks so much for everything. I'll talk to you guys soon.